Welcome back, everyone, to the Astrology series. Today, we are going to be focusing on the concepts of modalities and elements. Now, if you are unfamiliar with these concepts, they could seem a little daunting, but they are very simple, and they help make all of the zodiac easier to understand. Now, I'll explain why. There are 3 modalities. That's it. That's all you have to learn. And there are 4 elements. That's it. That's all you have to learn. By learning these 3 modalities and 4 elements, you can combine one of each to create every single zodiac sign. So what I mean by that is you take one of the modalities and one of the elements, and you can do that 12 times. And then you have the zodiac. So many people spend a lot of their time in early astrology lessons trying to learn the zodiac. This is not going to matter much, and you'll see that. We'll go over the zodiac in the next lesson. To learn the zodiac, this is what you need to know. You don't need to know every sign and what it means. That becomes very complicated. Especially when you're trying to do bigger charts and more complex zodiac work, you want to have an understanding. And so another way to explain this is when I look at the zodiac sign Aries, I don't see the zodiac sign Aries. I see a modality, which is the cardinal modality, and I see an element, which is the fire element. And I combine the meanings of these 2 symbols to create my interpretation of what Aries is. This is so much simpler and so much more accurate. Instead of learning 12 individual meanings, you learn 7 individual meanings, which you can then combine to create all of the zodiac. So without further ado, let's learn these. And let's start with the one that has less. We'll start with the modalities. So the first modality I will introduce you to is cardinal. Now, the cardinal modality is, and with all astrology, we're going to be using symbols to make everything easier to remember. If I'm doing an astrology chart and I want to convey the idea of cardinal, I don't have to write out cardinal. Instead, I just draw the symbol for it, and this simplifies things. Just like this. This is the cardinal symbol. So it is an upside down V symbol with a dot in the center of it. This represents the cardinal's ability to identify their point of reference, which is the point, and then have a target, an outward movement. So what the cardinal modality really represents is the forward movement, the bursting forward nature within us all. There are several signs. There will be 4 for each modality. Like I said, there's 3 for each element. Well, I'll have to show you the elements first. So let's just go through all the modalities really quickly. Remember this, the cardinal modality is drawn like an upward pointing V with a dot in the middle. There are 4 signs that are cardinal signs. That's going to be the same for all of our modalities. So the next thing we're going to talk about is the fixed modality. Now, the fixed modality has a second name, which I will introduce you to now because I use this name a lot for it. It's called cherubic. And what this has to do with is angelic forces that hold the universe or zodiac in position. There are 4 zodiac signs that are depicted often in things more than others, and they are the cherubic signs. We'll get into this, but the main thing you need to know now is to draw the symbol for fixed or cherubic modality. You draw a square. Then you draw a line going through the square horizontally. Now, this is a very, very, very ancient symbol for the sun. If you take this back further, this is what this symbol looked like. So we already spoke about this symbol once. Now, this is long ago. This symbol has become more associated with fixed energies within the cosmos. Energies that have the cherubic energy, rather than trying to pierce forward, are staying within themselves. And if you look, there's no circle. There's no ego identification point within a cherubic sign. They are functioning within a system as the system. And this is important to remember for this modality. Now, I want to show you the last modality, and don't worry about grasping all of these yet, but I do want you to know each of these symbols and what their names are. And so the last one will be the mutable modality. And it is drawn with an upward half circle and then a dot in the center. So it is very similar to the cardinal symbol, only that the cardinal symbol has an angle to it and the mutable symbol has a curve. Mutability and its modality energy have to do with your ability to accustomate or acclimate to the world, adaptability, being able to bend to things, but not for the sake of empowering them, for the sake of empowering self, ego. There is still that central point there. So the mutable sign is much more able to adapt than the others. Now, together, these three energies make up what we call the modalities, or for extra credit, quadruplicities. Now, the four elements are called the triplicities, and the three modalities are called the quadruplicities. Why? Because of the three modalities or quadruplicities, there are four signs associated with each three. For the four elements, there are only three signs associated with each four. This is not necessary to know. Now, I'm going to sum up these four symbols here, or these three symbols here. We've got the first one, which is cardinal. Then we have the second one, which is cherubic or fixed. And then we have the third, which is mutable. And these three symbols are your modalities. Every zodiac sign has one, and they share it with three other zodiac signs. This is your main dynamic. And what that means is any energy that has a lot, or any person or situation or thing you are doing astrology on, will have a set of zodiac signs assigned to different planets. And if there are a bunch of them favoring one of these modalities, you will see a shift in that person towards this energy. This is later knowledge, but I'm just putting it here for now. Now, the main thing that shows you the difference between all of these elements is their shape. You can see this is a piercing shape here. This is a sustaining shape here, and this is a bending shape here. Now, to show them all functioning together is important because I want to make sure you know this is not just arbitrarily broken into three. There is an interesting nature that can be seen here, and it has to do with harmony rather than division, and that it's important to focus on the harmony. Now, if I were to show you all of these three signs working together, here's how I would show you. I have to take all the parts of the signs. So the first thing I need, well, here, let me show you up here all these signs. And now I'm going to take all these parts and construct for you something. First, I will make the bow. We're going to fire a bow and arrow, and this could be seen as a metaphor for life. So I have right here my bow. Where did I get the bow from? I got it from the mutable sign. So for now, let's just use green to represent mutable. This is my bow, which I acquired from the mutable sign. Now, a bow is pointless without an arrow, so let's use red to represent the arrow. This is my arrow, which I got from the cardinal sign. So the bow has very bendable energy. It can bend to the will of something. And when it bends to the will of that something, it creates a lot of tension. So the bow, or the mutable energy, even though it seems passive and non-aggressive, is it's able to contain a lot of strength. The cardinal energy, or the arrow, is very sharp. It can get a lot of things done, but it doesn't have a lot of propulsion on its own. It needs other things. So right now, I just have an arrow and a bow sitting